For today's video, we'll speak about the forward line options. So the forward line is very interesting because the defense and the midfield looks fairly straightforward for the most part. Rucks is straightforward, unless Corner Grundy goes down. And then the forward line it's interesting. I think it's going to separate a few teams, and it's important to not stuff this up because there's a few players that, a few things could go wrong with them. When you look at the names of the forwards, it looks pretty good, but there's a few issues that we'll go over. So my preferences, I'll kind of go through them in the video, but I don't really like any of them. I don't trust any of them fully right now, but we'll speak about that, and yeah, so it should be good. So the first player we'll speak about is Josh Dunkley. Actually, before we go over that, another thing is we have to consider price as well, because I've traded Kazitsky, Bergman, and Jordan out far too early. I did get other cash makers in for them, but that's looking like a horrific mistakes trading those three out. So I don't like trading rookies early, but when your bench you have 0 players on the bench and you have the opportunity with nothing else going on, I just thought I'd get rid of them. But I knew it could possibly backfire, and it backfired, so it happens. So we need to be careful with money here. So because we're going to probably pay up, defense probably need to pay 500 to 550 for players, midfield probably 600, and then the forward line. Well, maybe this is where we just make do with a few players here. So first player, Dunkley. So he's gone, unfortunately. With Dunkley, I would be trading him to. I mean, it depends on your team. This is an opportunity to get a 600k guy. So, Walsh, Bont, Steele's break even is a little high, sorry. So maybe he's a bit too expensive given how pathetic St Kilda are playing at the moment. Still an okay option. And there's heaps of guys there. So take your pick. I'm not sure I'd be going down to someone, but that's just me personally. But we need to fix up the forward line regardless because it's looking pretty thin. And then, Impey's going to be, F2. So, that's my thoughts anyway on that. Zeeble is F1. Welcome. I would not be trading Taylor Walker in. Already had a minor calf issue, so seems okay. I can't remember if it was a cork or something, but I think it was some sort of knock. I can't remember exactly, but the Crows fixture is not going to be great coming up. They've played a few of the lower teams already. He's made his money. Is he a keeper from here on out? It's possible. I don't know. I would be holding until the break even gets too high. So that's fine with Walker. He's playing unbelievably well and averaging like 120. Just insane stuff. If you got him, great. If you don't, move on. And then Zack Butters. So Zack Butters here. This is one that I think is he must have. I think he could be. I think in the AFL ratings. Like the official AFL ratings, has him at like 4th best player in the league when he was playing. And then he missed an entire half as well. He's probably getting just enough mid-time. And being high half forward, he... Because I think, he got mid flexibility in AFL Fantasy. So he's getting... he's spending enough time up the ground. His heat map is sort of everywhere. So even though he's like mostly starting half forward, seems to follow the contest and gets a few CBAs. So that's helping him become a premium. So I think what's his break even? I'll have a quick look. 144. So we can give him 1 or 2 games when he comes back, see how he goes. And then I think he's one that we bring in. So he's one I'd be planning for, and he has a good buy as well. So fan of Zack Butters. Was a little... The role, I'm still trying to get my head around the role and how he's scoring well, but starting to make sense to me now. But it's just a bit of a new one to me in that with the role. Toby Green, couldn't care less for Toby Green right now. He's playing well, playing forward, kicking goals. Probably could be top 2, top 3 forward if he's playing midfield. I don't like his durability, so for me, it's atrocious the past few years. So he is a hard pass for me. Maybe late in the year, in the last few rounds, we'll see. Jarman MP, I assume we all have and is a keeper now. So if you missed MP, it's problematic. Same with Zeeble. But I think you can still get him in. He's still at a good price for what he's doing. Dustin Martin is one that's going to drop significantly, and definitely a player that I'll be bringing in. I mean, it's Dustin Martin. His disposal was off, but he's actually racking the ball up a lot. So second half of the year should be a little bit better, and he'll be 430, 420 even possibly. So he's one where he's too cheap to ignore. Even if he only goes 95 from here on out, you take that from Dusty. So a bit higher ceiling than that. Yeah, so concussion out for this week. So maybe in a few weeks, maybe after his bye or even before if he's cheap enough. So definitely bringing in Dustin Martin. So I'm making room for Dustin Martin and Zack Butters right now. And then we're going to think our way through the rest. Dane Zorko, I'm not really interested in. And look, I overplay injuries. I didn't pick Stewart because of a silly minor quad. Didn't pick Ridley because of a minor calf issue. And look, we'll see what happens there. But just because they have that history, it makes them more likely to be injured. But me overplaying injuries has backfired so far. I'm not picking Stewart and Ridley. Otherwise, yeah, would have picked Stewart, but that's fine. But with Zorko, he had a calf issue last year and Achilles issue last year. I mean, he's 32 and he's about to up his mid minutes. That doesn't sit well with me, to be honest. And look, he's probably going to score well enough. Probably could be averaging more if he didn't have so many clangers. Might be a bit of a frustrating player at times. I'm not interested in Zorko for now. Maybe in the last few rounds we'll see. But again, a lot of plays in the last few rounds I'll kind of want as well. But for me, the durability risk is too high right now. I just care about durability too much. Tom McDonald, well, maybe when Ben Brown comes, he has to share a bit more. So that's a really interesting one. McDonald, he's kind of been like premium for like half a season every now and then. But yeah, not for me. But yeah, playing okay. So yeah, not really interested in key forwards right now. Darcy Cameron, I have not monitored Darcy Cameron, so averaging okay, just played the Bombers, so playing okay the Bombers, but still they're not, they're bottom 6 team, so it's whatever. I have not monitored Darcy Cameron, to be honest. Maybe it's worth a quick look into, but I assume he's not getting a whole lot of mid minutes. Harry Mackay's playing pretty well for the Blues. He's one that's gonna, just coming off a big game. He'll probably be up and down. So look, he could average in the 70s for the rest of the year. He could average high 90s for the rest of the year. So for me, look, he's playing well. Can he keep it up? I'm not sure. He's a pass for me. Now, the next one is number 12, Rowan Marshall. This is definitely a fascinating pick. And look, 550k. I'm not interested in paying 550k for a forward right now. I think there's a lot of defenders that are better at this price range. And even some midfielders, if you're paying 550 for Rowan, you might as well pay for Walsh or something. So Rowan is a wait and see. So Ryder's coming back into the team, so he's not going to solo ruck and average 130 like he possibly can when solo rucking. And he also has that foot issue which flared up. Maybe he came back too early. There's no way you can go Rowan. Surely not right now. So I'll pass on Rowan for now. His buy is pretty brutal as well. Shares with Gorn Grundy and a few defenders and a few mids. So we'll hold off on Rowan. Just too much money. Yeah, the upside is there. Ryder's coming in, so his average is probably going to drop back of what it could be solo rucking. And yeah, the foot issue is at 100%. I mean, he looked 100%, played unreal. But just someone that we'll call the Jets on. Worry about that after. So Thorpe had a good game. Okay, this is not really relevant to what I should be talking about. But with Thorpe, yeah, kicked 5 goals on Scrimshaw basically. So I wouldn't be bringing him in over a few of the other guys like R2 or Farah. But yeah, he looks great. But the role is not good for Thorpe. There might be games where the supply dries up, or he has to play on a really strong key defender, which he can still do okay against, but to kick 5 goals and only score 90, a little bit concerning. But Thorpe is not going to worry about Thorpe. Okay, Reed, who cares? Franklin is dead basically. Nick Hind, so 16th forward right now, Nick Hind. So I like Hind. I can see why people wouldn't pick him. It makes sense why you wouldn't. Probably going to average between 88 and 88 and 92. Give you 22 disposals a game. So for his price, it's okay. And, the upside is probably not there for Nick Hind. So, if you want to try and... There's not a whole lot of value left. He's probably valued at, 450, I guess. So there's not a whole lot of value here. The thing I like about Nick Hind, durability seems pretty good. Seems to cop a few knocks, which is a little bit annoying. Had a head knock, shoulder knock, and then a calf cork already this year. So that is pretty concerning. So maybe it's just how, he's the reckless nature of how he plays. So go full steam ahead sort of style. But with Nick Hind, his role is clearly defined. He's clearly that, that Sado McKenna running halfback. No kickouts, gets a few intercept possessions, and they give him the ball when they can. And he can accumulate. So it's a fine pick. It's a safe, boring, low upside pick. That's, a reasonable price. So he's one where you can do it if you're struggling for money really badly. I'm still trying to figure out what the cash gen is looking like, and I might even prioritize cash gen this week. Still trying to figure that out. But Hind is one where it's okay. It's just you're getting what you're paying for. Not a whole lot of upside, and maybe it hurts you a little bit later down the track. But right now, it might get you an early upgrade and an early rookie off the field. So there's bonus points there. And maybe it even helps you finish your team properly. So for that reason, I like Hind. But I can see why you would be turned off by Hind. That's fine. It just seems a low risk, low reward option, or moderate reward. So that's my argument for Nick Hind. If that's how you like to play, I think it's fine. If not, I get it. That's fine. Norton, probably not. Yeah, I just don't think we can trust key forwards. So there's probably going to be one or two of them that go 90 plus, but yeah, who knows. Bailey Dale, not sure. I think he got swung forward for a bit, so that's a huge red flag. But I think he took a few kick-ins. He's become a pretty good defender, averaging the 88, so similar to Hind. I think Hind, I understand what he is long-term a bit more, whereas Dale, he probably stays down back, but when all their defenders come back, how does he score? So we'll call the Jets on Dale, so probably going to avoid him for now, but could work. Tom Atkins is an interesting one. So had a really poor game in terms of scoring. So scored 50-something last week, but everything else has been pretty solid, between 80 and 110, basically. So 400k, I always feel like maybe he's 2 or 3 bad games away from being replaced. Maybe they want to put Clark in defense, but it seems like they're pretty happy with Tom Atkins. Atkins is playing pretty well. A few clangers here and there, but I like him. It's just it's similar to Hind. Tom Atkins doesn't really intercept, or Hind gets a few intercept possessions, but Tom Atkins, you don't really see him. He doesn't take kickouts, so his scoring avenues aren't super high, but he's apart from last week, he's been really consistent. Pretty good in the contest, and gets involved a little bit in chains and up the ground, and even at stoppages. You could go for Atkins. Again, it's a boring low upside pick, so I'm not sure I would. I think, I'm not sure. I'm happy with him given what I paid for him, but it's just seems like a low upside pick. So, you could go if you want. I just think Hind probably has a few more little things going for him, but they're averaging the same. So, Hind has been a halfback for a lot longer than Tom Atkins. Hind's pretty much been a halfback for his entire career, apart from the 2 years he was at St Kilda. So, look, it's an okay option, but it's a budget pick. Okay, Cozzy Pickett, playing really well, but role isn't super great. I think he pushes up the ground a bit. So you could go for... No, don't go for Cozzy, so we'll just skip that. But yeah, he's playing really well. Now, Bolton, this is probably the most interesting pick of the lot, I would say. So when I watch Bolton play, I think this guy he's a star player. He spreads from the clearance so well. He's damaging. He's been accumulating a bit more this year, so I think he's actually improved. He had the one game where he scored 30 against Sydney, where I think he only had 1 or 2 CBAs for that game. So they shoved him forward, and that's my main issue. So I need Richmond supporters' help here. He had a calf cork last year, and then something else. I think he was actually dropped in round 5 or something like that. So with Bolton, I'm sort of torn on this one because, so this week he plays the Dogs, but also Prestia and Dusty are out, and they pretty much are both going to come back in probably 2 weeks. So what do they do with Bolton? Because I think they like him forward, but I think it's ridiculous not to play in midfield the way he plays. So, I think he's averaging nearly 100 odd if you take out that 30 score. He was shoved forward for the entire game. So, 450k. He's probably going to go up to 470 this week. I don't know. Does he get shoved forward at some point? I can't answer that. That's something I don't know. I just feel like Richmond, they like him forward, but I don't understand why he wouldn't be played midfield because he's so good there. Probably their best player, arguably, outside of Dusty when he's firing. So, yeah, I think it's a reasonable option. One to think about. Definitely higher upside than Hind and Atkins. So next we have Chad Wingard. No way. He's a burn man. Heard he plays video games, stays up too late to play video games, so that's a no-no. But yeah, plays for Hawthorn, who aren't the best. So there's no way we look at Chad Wingard. Plus durability's not good. Tom Hawkins is another one, 470. Probably got a few big games in him, probably not with Cameron back. Not sure how that works. Yeah, I don't think so, definitely not, but it could work. Darling is, no, probably not. I don't think West Coast are that good, to be honest. Sidebottom's a weird one as well. He's playing sort of rubbish, if you ask me. He looks a bit like Doherty. Like Doherty, the numbers are good, but I don't think he's playing very well. Sidebottom's just like hacking it a lot, but he's getting a bit more mid-time. So he's one that could easily go 105 plus. But with... I don't like him. I just don't. I think he's already had a soft tissue injury this year. So Collingwood are pretty terrible as well. They're probably bottom 4. I don't see it. I can see it working, but I'm just not interested in still side bottom. So maybe later. But yeah, I'm thinking about nah. I think I'm going to skip side bottom. I can see him scoring okay, but I don't want to pay 500 for him, even though that could potentially be value. I just don't think he's playing well, but he's scoring okay. Allen's pretty good, but no Finlayson. So yeah, and then Patrick Dangerfield. I'm not sure I'm interested in Dangerfield because, said in my video, he's listed as 6 to 10 weeks. So plus he needs a few price drops, so 8 to 12 weeks. I don't think we worry about that. Maybe really late in the year. So say he's out for 10 weeks. That's like round 17. No, I don't think we worry about that. Then he's probably going to play forward when he comes back and be ripe for finals. Think he's gone. Yeah, probably not going to worry about Dangerfield. We'll see. Maybe he comes back in like 6 to 8 rounds or something, and then maybe he's like available round 15-ish or something when we're doing final upgrades. I'm going to plan without Dangerfield for now. Yep, just nah. I don't know, probably not. Something we'll assess later down the track. I'm not sure he's going to be super must-have. I know he's Dangerfield, but he's coming off long-term injury, and he's probably trying to get ripe for finals. But I guess he wants to need some form as well. But maybe he can rest his groin as well. So it'll be one where you can definitely go for, but it's just like we don't know if he's going to be there or not. And maybe, I suppose he's not going to play a lot forward with Cameron and Hawkins and Rowan. Not a whole lot of room for him there. So maybe they just like manage his time on the ground. I'm not sure what the situation with how he comes back, but that's something I'm not going to plan for it, but if it somehow happens, we can bring him in. Peter Wright, no. Cameron, no. I'll just go through these. Jack Martin, absolutely not. Never. Gray, probably not with Gray. It's probably what he's going to average, 85 or 82. Lambert, no. Lachlan Fogarty's CBAs aren't great. No, it's a trap. Dre, yeah, a lot of points to go around in the Dogs' defense, so probably not. Isaac Smith is interesting. So I think we can skip these players and we'll go to nothing here. We need to find one more player. It's not Phillips. Oh god, he's averaging 75. So Zach Bailey is an interesting one. So does he move into the midfield now with Neil out for 8 weeks? Does that maybe this? It's like Zorko ups his mid minutes, Bailey ups his mid minutes. Maybe Dev Robertson gets a bit more opportunity because he's getting no opportunity. So yeah, Bailey's an interesting one, and he's one where what's his break even? I'm not sure what his CBAs were this week. Break even of 80. We can check his CBAs this week, but again, long term, you know, when Neil's back in like 8 weeks, does he go back and get shoved forward? So probably not a long-term solution, but for his price, it's possible it could work. Not for me though, I don't think, but we'll have a look at him next week, just out of curiosity, I think. So yeah, I think Marshall's the main one, I think, where it's like, I think we're probably going to need him if he's playing as well as he did. Even with Wright in the team, probably can go score pretty well, provide that cover if required. Shy Bolton, Shy Bolton's interesting. And I think we plan for Zack Butters. And then I don't mind going for a discounted option in like a Hind or Atkins. So, and then Dusty's there. Green late as well. Zorko. It's like, there's a few decent options here, but yeah, I've covered it all in this video. That's just my thinking. Maybe you think differently. Maybe you don't care as much as durability as me. Because you can get away with durability sometimes, so that's fun. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys soon.